Hi, it's Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and today we're in a different environment. We're in a new vehicle. We got a temporary Ford Fiesta 2020 model, and it has a SYNC3 system on it that can do CarPlay. So I thought it's the perfect opportunity to test a number of wireless dongles and just to see, do they function? How fast is their boot up time? What's the performance? So if you're looking for a wireless solution for your Fiesta 2020 or a general SYNC3 system that has CarPlay, basically I'll tell you which one is the best for you. Alright, so let's jump in and have a look at what dongles we'll be looking at. So we'll be looking at the CarPlay to Air, the JoyeAuto, the CarlinKit 2.0, and finally the MMB Plus, which allows you to do YouTube streaming and mirroring. So we'll be checking that out too. And as a little token gesture, we'll be looking at the MMB Android and just seeing if that works with it as well. There are all wireless dongles apart from this one. This is like a standalone box for Android. But we'll be covering 4 dongles today, 4 of the main high-end dongles. They've all been updated to the latest firmware, and we'll be testing them all out for their speed and just general how well they function. I'll be speeding through these, just doing a general, does it work? What's the boot up time? I'll do the timers back in post-production. I won't be counting it in the video live, but I'll be putting a stamp of the time it takes. Maybe at the end I'll do a summary of what dongle I would get for this particular system. Alright, so let's dive in with the first dongle. Right, so we're in the Ford here. We've got a wired system. I'll just show you it with CarPlay actually running. So I'm plugging in now. Unlock and we're in. So it's nice and quick, nice and fast. So for wireless CarPlay, we're basically going to unplug this cable that we've got down in the center console here. And we're going to be plugging in the first one, which is going to be the CarPlay to Air. I've had some dodgy behavior with this dongle recently. So plugging it in, and there's going to be a red LED light here. It's asking me to connect to CarPlay. Yes, I do. Skip this step. So we've got Apple CarPlay coming up here. Could probably initializing. And we're connecting. Whilst this is connecting, I'm going to get Spotify ready. So we're now in the CarPlay to Air dongle, so that's the timestamp for that. Since I've already paired it, so we're reducing that amount of delay. So it's as if you've just gone in your car, you've already set it up, and this is the delay that you're going to get on a regular basis. So this little stepping is a thing that you can address. So basically I've got all the settings set to 300 on the settings section. So what I'm going to do, so that's not good, that's not acceptable. So we're going to go into the system here, and there actually is a new version. So do I change that? Yes, let's update it. So we're going to update the dongle now, which means there'll be an update for the CarlinKit as well probably. And there probably won't be one for the JoyeAuto, I'm sure. So we'll check each one as we go along, just to make sure that we're testing this on the latest version. So we're gonna reboot this in a minute. So we're updating the dongle just to the latest version. I've been encountering lots of hardware errors in a recent update, so I'm hoping that this solves that. Usually when you plug it in, you don't get any CarPlay at all. So upgrade successful, it should be booting into CarPlay now. And we're going to kick into the boot menu. And this is the hardware error that I was telling you about. So basically when you get this, all you can do is unplug it and then basically plug it back in again. Now I'm getting constant hardware error. That's not good. Alright. Just a tip, if you have updates and it's totally working for you, honestly, don't bother updating it. You're really not going to get that much of an improvement. It really is a technical limitation, the lag. They're not going to make it any better. So if you've got serious problems with the dongle, it's crashing and things like that on your system, then maybe consider doing the updates. But if it's totally working for you already, honestly, don't bother updating, because you could just get what I just got with a hardware fault and you've got a expensive paperweight. Right, so we're going to test out the CarlinKit 2.0 dongle. This is currently my go-to CarPlay wireless dongle. So I'll be plugging that in to the USB port at the bottom of the console. This phone is not got a cable attached to it at the moment. I've already applied all the profiles, set it all up in another system, so what you're seeing now since plugging it in is the speed it takes for it to boot into the main menu, get connected to my phone and get into the CarPlay. And we're in. So you can hear this stuttering. That is basically because I've got this dongle set up to, there's a new update here, but I've just applied that to the CarPlay 2 and I'm getting a Wi-Fi error. So that's not good. So I'm not going to update this dongle because I'll probably get the same issue again. But if you go into settings by tapping this little menu button down the bottom here, you get this panel and you get a media delay. And if you set that really low, you start to get this stuttering. So I'm going to set that to 500. 600, no, 500. So that's now set. I probably then need to do a reset, which is going to reset the dongle.
A few moments later.
Right. So you can hear now with 500 setting. And that's now fixed. The only downside of that is basically you're going to get slight lag or more lag in the audio. So there's about 2-second delay. But not bad. And obviously the screen is responsive, as it normally is. And the only big thing is the audio lag and delay. And just general boot up time. That's the only thing you need to really worry about. So this is the CarlinKit 2.0 dongle. It's not bad. It's at 500. You don't get the skip. You get roughly about a 1 to 2 second delay in the audio, and I think that's acceptable. Alright, so that's success for the CarlinKit 2.0. Now going to go for the JoyeAuto. Again, this has been updated to the latest, so we just plug this in. It's already connected to my phone. Plugging it in now. And we're in. So roughly the similar time, you'll see in the timestamp below if it's any faster or slower than the CarlinKit 2.0. Let's play. So this has its settings set to just default really. I'm always never really able to really fix these settings down on this dongle. But it's using a default value, which is enough that it's not going to end up creating that skipping audio sensation. So I say about 2 to 3 seconds on the audio. It's a little bit longer. So we're going to unhook this. We're not going to update it. I don't want to go into an error and not be able to at least test the speed of it. It shouldn't really improve it that much. The next one. So we're going to do the MMB Dongle Plus. I'm going to plug it in now. We're going to get the same kind of compatibility screens that the Ford system introduces. So I'll do a proper test of speed boot up time in a second. The MMB does take a little bit longer. It's like a whole new system that's wrapped around this section, so it's recognized it. And we're in. It's been set to CarPlay loading through its new firmware. There's now a section that you can actually set to boot up via CarPlay all the time, rather than go through the media section. I'll quickly show you it in a minute, but let's quickly test the audio. And the audio sounds good. So again, it's very there's a slight delay there, but around 2 to 3 seconds again. To me, I think that's acceptable. Let's just quickly show you the media area. So if you go to Media Cast on the MMB, it's going to reboot the dongle and boot into the sort of wrapper operating system to allow you to stream and play media from the USB port on the back of the dongle. So here we're into the menu system of that. I'll just quickly show you where you can now set it to always boot in CarPlay mode, which is a nice change and addition. And everything else is similar here. You've got Phonecast for streaming. I'm going to boot into that. And this will tell you that you need to cast from YouTube. So basically, to stream, you need to set up a personal hotspot, because otherwise the phone can't talk to the dongle in that way, because it's very similar to CarPlay. And then we toggle this on and off. Sometimes it doesn't actually trigger. And we click on the iPhone that's come up. Can you believe it's May and it's hail in the UK? That's insane. So right, so we're connected now on here. My phone is connected to the dongle via a hotspot. And now we go to YouTube. We've got the video here that's playing. If you go to AirPlay, you now get an AirPlay Apple TV casting option there. And as soon as you click on that and we enable, it's going to start playing on a player that's hosted on the dongle. So this is the player. It takes a little while to buffer.
First impressions of each of these wireless dongles, but I still get many questions on which dongle should you buy and which dongle is better overall, basically. So in this video, I hope I will go through each of these dongles.
So this
features,
is basically running off my phone, YouTube.
I will summarize which dongle
If I pause it, pause the video. If I play it,
for you. So in no particular order,
carries on.
Let's dive in.
And
so
you can,
the first wireless dongle,
you can basically skip along here. You can fast forward. You can actually drag this slider around and get to a particular point in the YouTube video. It's not a smooth experience, but eventually does kick in. So
time to swap four wheels for four wheels.
And then once you've got it playing, you can basically start going through like a playlist if you wanted to, and then you can
only to lose it all over again.
Once this ad finishes. And then basically you can go through all your videos that way. So that's cool, that's all working, audio sounds great. There's a slight little buffering, but it takes in there, but the actual lag to screen is perfect, since it had that update a couple of months ago.
Let's go back in the studio and update the dongle.
Again with the hotspot, once you're connected and you go into Phonecast, another option is you can then do screen mirroring. If you click on that, and up comes the option on the dongle. And once you do this, it takes a few seconds. So as long as you've got your hotspot on, you've connected the dongle to it here. And then basically I'm now mirroring my phone. So you can play things in landscape if you've got it, such as like photos, such as videos.
Hi, it's Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and today I've just finished my sound editing project in the studio just to generally reduce. Hi, it's Anthony from CarPlayLife.com, and today I've just finished my sound editing project in the studio.
So there's a little slight delay there between the video and the audio, but this is streaming off my phone now. It's still tethered, but it's not good as the actual player that buffers the stream and gets it in sync.
If it's something that you're thinking of doing yourself,
but again, it's something that you could just browse along and just browse photographs and things like that. That's from the actual camera roll. Obviously, it won't do YouTube. YouTube will actually play. If you did it this way, it'll basically cancel the mirroring and actually start the buffering of the player. So that's quite a nice feature that it will sync between the two.
A few moments later.
So we've got our SanDisk USB stick here. We've loaded it with the actual updated files, and we're going to plug it into the bottom.
But if I close that, it's going to go back to screen mirroring again. But obviously things like Netflix, I'll just show you what happens if you try and play Netflix. You're okay for this part of the thing, but as soon as you start playing content, it's basically going to play like this. But if I do this, obviously this is a preview.
That's how we travel. The only light we use is the dark comes to keep you.
Where's your general?
But if we actually play an episode, it's not going to play at all. Because it will try and play the actual casting player, but the cast player, like any Apple TV, if you're trying to stream copyrighted content, it's just going to go black. You're not going to get any audio from it either. So that's frustrating. If you've got non-copyrighted material or trailers, they'll play totally fine because they're kind of like uncopyrighted, but there must be a flag in the actual file that gets streamed that Apple just blocks it. So you're stuck with looking like this with anything like Netflix, Prime, Disney Plus and things like that. They just won't play like this. Right, so we're going to test out the Android MMB dongle. This is basically the Android standalone. Lets you put Android OS onto the system. So I'm going to plug it in now. And it's going to boot up and do its thing. With a bit of luck. And it boots up. So this isn't a wireless dongle. This is just a Android operating system that uses the CarPlay display to function, basically. So now we're looking at like a layer over Android. So you've got all the apps that I've reviewed previously, and you can check out my other video about that. I go much deeper into this. But this is the latest version at the time of recording, And basically you can do things like watch YouTube and things like that, and allow you the ability to basically stream any content over a personal hotspot that you set up, and that will allow you to play content. So it obviously varies based on your actual your bandwidth of your phone, but this is basically browsing the Android YouTube app, which means you can come home and you can launch things like Netflix, and you're not able to go back to CarPlay. There is no CarPlay once you've got this dongle plugged in. You'd have to take the dongle out, and that will bring CarPlay back again, and you have to like plug the phone back in, because you're not using a wireless solution here. Maybe eventually in future we might get all systems thrown in together. The MMB Plus is like a halfway house between the two. Netflix takes a while to load because my bandwidth here is not as good, but you can such as launch anything here. You can navigate, browse, and so on. So basically that's all playing here. I don't want to get a copyright strike, so that's basically that. Then you've got Spotify. You can play over the hotspot of your phone. Again, it does the streaming from your phone as well, and you can play literally anything off the Google Play Store. You can VLC if you wanted to. You can go for a browser, check your email, view Twitch and TikTok, even play, if you wanted, a game of Candy Crush if you've got some time to whilst away. Obviously not while you're driving, but when you've got some time in the car and maybe you're waiting for someone or the kids to go shopping, you can actually go and do play Candy Crush on your CarPlay display if you wanted to. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. You can obviously get weather if you wanted to, but again, I must stress, this is just an Android operating system that's taken over your CarPlay display. It won't do CarPlay. You can't plug your phone in and have CarPlay running in the background and then this doing its own thing, because obviously you're using up a USB port at that point. So you got to think, you either have this or CarPlay. If you've got an Android phone, you can connect your Android to it and you could potentially do Android Auto. The CarPlay way is totally different on how it functions. So it's all or nothing, basically. All Android OS or CarPlay. So that's the MMB Android box running on the Fiesta 2020 with SYNC3 on the CarPlay display here, tethered to my phone. Obviously you can do everything else, but I go deeper into my other video, which I'll link at the top here, and you can check out the video about that. As for dongles and what I recommend, it's out of these two. It's the MMB Plus or the CarlinKit 2.0. Firmwares, if it works, don't bother updating. If it works, you're really not going to get much improvements unless something really is not working in your car. Only then do the update. They really do start to break them with some of their updates, and it's basically a paperweight at that point. So be careful about that. MMB updates are quite regular, at least one every couple of months at least. Obviously, if you want to stream from YouTube, this is good for that. And if you've got CarPlay and you just want it for CarPlay, it will do that well as well. It's a nice addition to be able to plug USB media in here and play like videos or MP3s from the USB as well. This obviously is a lot more money. You can get this for about $80. This is about $150, but obviously you get a lot more functionality with this one here. The CarlinKit, very similar to the CarPlay to Air, but the CarlinKit has the USB-C ability, 5G for better sort of signal strength, and especially if you've got 2.4G in your Wi-Fi in your car, it's not going to fight with that. But it's a bit more capable, and you just seen it runs really well, sort of 1 to 2 seconds on the audio, so that's good. And you can play around with the delay settings in there if you want to try and fine tune it and get the best equivalent for you. So if you're on the cheap, go for the CarlinKit 2.0. If you want a bit of extra functionality, as well as wireless CarPlay, go for the MMB Plus. All right, I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, give us a like, and if you have any questions, leave us in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.